Junko Furuda was born in 1971 in Misato, a peaceful suburb near Tokyo, Japan. She was a typical teenage girl, cheerful, studious, and full of dreams. Junko loved spending time with friends, had a bright future ahead of her, and was known for her kindness and gentle nature. She was a high school student who dreamed of becoming a nursery teacher. However, in November 1988, her life took a horrifying turn that shocked the entire nation. One cold November evening, Junko was walking home from school when she was approached by a group of teenage boys. They forced her into a car, taking her to an abandoned house. This moment marked the beginning of 44 days of unspeakable horror. Junko was held captive in a small, locked room, isolated, frightened, and completely alone with her tormentors. Junko's captors subjected her to cruel and relentless abuse, physical, emotional, and psychological. They beat her mercilessly, burned her with cigarettes, and humiliated her daily. She was forced to endure unimaginable pain, and even when she pleaded for mercy, they showed none. Her cries were ignored, drowned by their cruelty. They controlled every aspect of her life, when she ate, when she slept, and even her very thoughts. The house became a prison where hope was slowly extinguished. Despite her terrifying situation, Junko tried to escape several times, but each attempt was met with harsher punishment. Her captors locked her up more securely and increased the violence. They threatened her family, further isolating her from any hope of rescue. Trapped, hopeless, Junko endured every day, praying for a miracle. Neighbors heard strange noises, but no one wanted to get involved. Junko's family, although deeply worried, could not imagine the true nightmare unfolding. The tragic silence continued, only empowering her captors to carry on with their cruel abuse. After 44 agonizing days, Junko's captors finally released her, but she was barely alive. Her body was broken and her spirit shattered. She was rushed to the hospital, but the injuries were too severe. On January 4, 1989, Junko Furuda passed away. Police arrested Misato weeks later for a separate crime. During questioning, he confessed to killing a girl but pretended not to remember her name. When police finally discovered the drum that contained Junko's remains, they were horrified, and the gravity of the crime started to unfold. The boys involved in this heinous act were charged with her murder, but due to their status as minors, their identities were protected initially. The legal system's handling of the case became public outrage reached a fever pitch when the details of their sentences were revealed. Each of the boys was sentenced to a range of 8 to 20 years, with the length depending on their involvement and role in the crime. Shockingly, some of them were released in just over a decade, an incredibly short time for the severity of their actions. The Japanese public was furious and devastated by the perceived leniency of the legal system. Many felt that the system failed to deliver the justice that Junko deserved. Newspapers, in defiance of legal restrictions, printed the names and photos of the killers, with some calling for the public to hold them accountable despite their protected status. The argument was clear. Those who commit such unspeakable crimes should not be allowed to hide behind the anonymity afforded by their age. Even Junko's parents, devastated and broken by the loss of their daughter, pleaded for a justice that would never fully come. The legal system's failure to hold the perpetrators fully accountable added fuel to the public's anger. leaving the Furuta family and society at large with a sense of injustice that would never be rectified. Let Junko Furuta's story stand as an eternal reminder to each of us. It is a call to action for all who witness injustice or cruelty. If you see something, say something. Do not assume that someone else will step in. If someone is suffering, do not remain silent. Junko's suffering lasted 44 days because the world stayed silent, and countless others like her have endured similarly because people chose not to act when they should have. We must break this silence. Speak up. For Junko, for every voice that has been silenced, for every person who has suffered in the shadows. Let us be the ones to ensure that their cries for help are never ignored again. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to subscribe and like.